zero tolerance for anything.
Kind of got off track. We kind of got off track. We're talking about infidelities. What's going on, Coach? We're talking about infidelity. The topic is power dynamics. I'm about to play another video about power dynamics. You know, this one is about submission.
Before you drop the video, though, all right, go
ahead. Women don't submit anymore. No, women don't submit to you. Women are natural to submission. I don't care how strong and independent she is. So here's the disconnect. Are you looking for forced submission? So ask yourself, why won't she really submit? Here it is. Women are not their grandparents anymore, okay? Women are not looking for a husband and to become a housewife and to bear children. No, they're not looking for that anymore. A lot of women come from a split home with a double Dutch dad who jumps in and out of their lives as he chooses. Do you display wise leadership? Do you give a good sense of direction? Are you dependable? Are you consistent? Are you trustworthy? How can she trust your direction? Every decision that you make, you have to run to mommy to help you create that decision. How is she going to follow a boy? She got to sit on her and put on her big woman panties and raise the boy. So what sense does that make? When has a teacher ever submitted to a student? She's raising you and you want her to submit to you. Yeah, I'm going to take it there. Yeah, we fall for the okie doke. A lot of women fall for the okie doke because a lot of boys pose as men, and eventually time and circumstance manifest that unreliable, irresponsible, inconsistent, unfaithful child that boy actually really is. So yeah, we fall for the okie doke because I know a lot of y'all going to come to me about that. So how can a woman feel safe in a chaotic environment? So ask yourself, are you reliable? Are you consistent? Are you trustworthy? Do you make her feel emotionally, mentally, and physically secure? Are you emotionally available? Many women want to feel secure and be vulnerable. But how can she be secure and be vulnerable and even submit to you in a chaotic environment where you display poor leadership skills? So before you go and decide that you want to ask, why won't she submit to me? Why women don't submit? Women don't do. Ask yourself, are you a man worth submitting to?
Power dynamic, right there.
Another goofy.
I had muted everybody, so the video. Unmute yourselves, everybody that want to speak.
I'm gonna give this a thumbs up.
And welcome to the stage. We got Coach Ferb, we got Gary, and we got Honey Clark. Everybody, welcome them to the stage.
How y'all doing?
I'm trying to welcome everybody.
Can I please say something? I'm begging y'all. Can I please say something? I'm begging y'all. And listen, it's no knock to a woman.
I ain't gonna say wait a minute 5,000 fucking times. That's what I ain't gonna do. Rules are rules. Don't be over talking to everybody. Give everybody time to talk and land a plane. Damn it! Don't be long
point quick because we don't want to have to get the muting and kicking people off, but when we want to have a civil discussion.
Go ahead, Gary. Let it rip. Go on. Get it.
I promise, Morphine. Listen, what I don't get is like how does every animal have different women as a male animal, right? Listen, not only that, but I want to know if a war happened right now, how many women is going to be out there fighting on the battlefield or be taking care of their men and their children? How many women? So all of that shit you're talking about is like, he can be stupid all day long, but he going to go out and die for you, period. It doesn't matter, none of that. So that's why we always deserve a chance. And that's why you need us just as much as we need y'all, even though we came from y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's vice versa. Like, you can't just automatically just shit on us. And you can, at the end of the day, you could build a man from the bottom. But we're the ones who date down. We'll take a woman from Arby's that don't mean shit, and we own our own business and build her up and give her her own business. What woman does that? We date down. We're the true lovers. So where I want to hear what y'all got to say after that.
There's a lot of dudes living on a woman's couch right now being built up.
right? But I'm saying I'm pertaining to what she talking about. I'm trying to hear what she talking about. That's what I was answering. I ain't talking about what she was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like I respect all of that, but what she said had me like,
we got it. God damn, we got it. Okay, we got it. Now, I don't know how old you are, but I think you're in your 30s, so that's easy to
34.
understand. Yeah, that's easy for me.
No disrespect. I mean this with all respect. You know,
listen,
no disrespect, Morphine.
White boy, please be quiet. Please. I know you got a lot to say. Just be quiet.
My name's Gary, bro.
Okay, Gary, I'm sorry.
I'm a man just like you. We put our pants on one leg at a time, bro. You feel me? Not a white boy. I'm not a white man. I'm not none of that. My name's Gary.
Gary.
I respect that.
Hold on. I'm muting everybody. Hold on. Let's get this out the way. Show mutual respect to everyone, please. Everyone, put it to where Morphine, put it to where you can see people's names on the screen. Everybody, let's be respectful. All right, now I'm gonna unmute you guys. Well, unmute yourselves.
My take on that whole conversation about submission is it's not realistic. Again, I'm going back to simple science. It's not realistic for the environment we're in. We're in a very equality-based environment.
I would say.
Okay, go ahead, Trey Ferg. It was on you.
As man, we're looking at it a little backwards. As a man, and as you grow into your manhood, you have to find out who you are and chase who you are going forward. Meaning, if there's anything that you like before age 21, you have to sort of bring it up to par because you're looking at yourself, how you want to live. You don't acquiesce to a woman acquiesces to you. Meaning, if you a guy that you know you smart or a guy that you know you good with your hands, you should constantly be striving and building in that capacity in your best years of your life. You can't wait till you get 55 and say all of a sudden I want to be a millionaire. It starts early. And as you grow your skills, understand your mindset, what your triggers are, because I'll think about it. A lot of y'all are fighting with the same women that grew up with y'all mamas and y'all aunties. They grew up with y'all. So it's hard for everybody to say, how can we work together? Because all of y'all were affected by the same dynamic. Black women just have a little more confused because they still been given handouts. As a man, you ain't been getting no handouts. You've had to work for everything.
Man.
And this is your time in your life where you can just be, you have to sort of be selfish in a sense. If you don't have children, don't have a child out of wedlock. If you have a child, you almost had to go get that child to save your child, because what I'm seeing in a lot of these spaces are guys that they'll come on and say, I'm this guy and I want to be this guy, but we still leave people behind. If you want to see that generational wealth, you put all of that energy into your son and your daughter. You can't think about the mother. You can't be sleeping with her if you don't want her. You have to let her go, but you focus on yourself. And if you're doing that, continue to do that till you come to an age of reason. And closer to 40, you'll understand what your true self is and what your desire and purpose in life is. But you can't get that to that destination focusing on women. I'm not saying listen, I'll be a fool if I say don't sleep with a woman. I'll be a damn fool with your man wake you up. What you have to do, you have to be very choosy. You have to be very selective in how you do it. And if she's not forming to your movements, then you can't chase her.
Period.
You can't waste time when you know who either don't have your best interests at heart, or you looking to just use her. If you're looking to just use the woman, have fun and move on. Other than that, I'm gonna tell you, black man, between 21 and 41, that's your greatest time. After that, you start to age out in society. Fuck relationship. Because the world ain't gonna hire you to work unless you create your own. But you'll miss a lot avoiding that between 21 and 41. You can gain all that skill right now. It's at your hands. Take advantage of it. I digress.
All right. Go ahead, Honey Clark. You were saying something?
Are we going to talk about what the lady said?
That's what I was. I mean, he
I mean, because
definitely
he
gave
was
some good
talking
valid
about
points there.
submission in
Well,
today, and nobody said anything about it. Um,
Shit,
I
I
got
and
did.
one second, honey.
Kenny acted like it couldn't happen.
I gave
The
y'all all the
problem
reasons
is
why
that
we
it takes
deserved it.
time for it to happen. And in today, people want to microwave a relationship.
right,
For
and
what
that's
to
where I was
happen?
saying because the topic really is like power dynamics in a relationship. Like in the beginning, we went over, power, the construct of power, dictatorship versus democracy. Who exactly is the leader, XYZ, and that's where the 50-50 came in before this submission, because those are both key components to power dynamics in a relationship.
Yeah, but I mean, I like the way that the lady, when she spoke, a lot of men kind of think that submission belongs with money. Yeah,
No,
with money comes with submission. And when she
no.
explained it, she's letting you know, like, it has nothing to do with how much money you have, all the other stuff that you do. It has to do with how you're treating her and how you're showing her how you lead yourself and how you can lead her,
Right.
and that she could trust you in that. But you can't microwave that. So if people aren't going to take time in a relationship, how can they find any kind of dynamic?
Yeah, but if y'all been programmed a certain way, how do we get to a submission level with
If
y'all?
you have to take time. Ain't nobody programmed. You have to take time. It
Y'all's
comes
programmed to
automatically.
be men. Y'all's programmed to be independent women and be proud of that. That's a
And as an
man.
independent woman, you can still be submissive to your man.
Yeah, but what woman is though? We could do it. I could do it.
Me?
I'm romantic. I'm everything in the world, bro, and I
Oh,
still
well,
don't have a woman.
hang on, Gary. Hang on, Gary. Check this out. Michelle
That's
Obama is
wrong, bro.
absolutely
That's not
an
right,
independent
bro.
woman. Hang on,
Men can
listen.
live at Starbucks their whole life
Hang
and
on,
never get no pussy. A
hang
woman will
Hold
on.
on,
never do
Gary,
without having
chill.
I'd
kids.
like to get next
This
after
dude
this
is
young man.
venting.
I got he vented. Hang on, Gary, because I'm trying to speak. Like,
My bad, y'all.
Michelle Obama, even what he brought it up earlier, Hillary Clinton. These are all very independent women that would be just fine if they didn't have their husbands around. But at the same time, they understand the dynamic of their relationship. They know when to fall back. So a woman can absolutely be strong and independent and still fall back in a relationship.
That's true.
Absolutely.
So
And
then the
like she
question
said, and like
becomes.
it. Go ahead. I'm
So then the
sorry.
question becomes: in their dynamics, is submission a requirement? I don't think Obama requires Michelle to submit. I think most successful men now with successful relationships not only have their women submit to them, but they submit to their women as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that my wife knows better than me.
True.
When it comes to picking the kids' schools and things, babe, I submit. You do the footwork on that. You know the best schools, whatever you want to do. So when we
Period.
even have that whole submission conversation, that kind of clouds the conversation of power dynamic.
Well, me and Timothy is threw that in there when it comes down to allowance. So if the person is allowing you to do something, isn't that taking leadership in because you're allowing them to do it? If you would never allow it, they can never do it, right?
Right. So the example I gave earlier was I was talking to my homeboy and he was talking about like his wife is better with money than he is. So he's like, okay, go ahead and do the money. That's your thing, I'm gonna fall back and let you do the budgeting. And he was like, but this is the thing though. He's the one that had the plan. Doesn't the leader make the plan? So if he's like, if he's saying, okay, boom, you better than this at me, you go ahead and do it. So I can't. A sports example will be like, I can't throw the ball. You could throw the ball, so you should be the quarterback. That's being captain. That's being the leader. Like, okay, you the fastest runner. You're gonna be the running back. You the biggest dude. You're gonna be the center.
Right.
That's the leader, right?
Timothy, it's all a military strategy when it comes to that, because a great leader understands their strengths and their weaknesses, so they delegate other people in positions to take care of those other strengths that they lack. That's why most generals are successful, because remember, they're not even out on the battlefield. They're back at the tent where it's nice and warm, but they've delegated individuals who they know are trustworthy to handle those positions and the pressures that come with those positions. And that's where the dynamic is. And all of the guys that spoke, it seems even the examples that were given, both of these couples were married. This gentleman, he's married. It's a different dynamic when you are married. Some may think it's not, but it is a different dynamic, because if somebody gets hurt and you're not married, and there's money involved, somebody's going to be shut out of that dynamic altogether. But if you're married, you're tied to that capacity. And the unique thing about it, Hillary Clinton and Michelle Obama, they was with their prospective husbands when they had nothing, and they grew together. So it's easier to understand. If you haven't gotten to that space, you can say and shoulda, coulda, woulda to most of it, but unless you're in that space, it's hard to really see how it works in that dynamic, because I can cook, but my wife does all the cooking. Anything outside, I'm up on the roof, I'm hammering, nailing cars, whatever. Anything inside, she's cleaning the carpets. And women have to understand, they have devices today that make their job easy. Ain't nobody on no scrub board. They got dishwashers. Think about it. And it's easier and it's more healthier for the children and for the woman to make a home cooked meal, but nobody does that. Everybody wants it quick, easy. I want to be out. I got to be wasting money, because the dynamic is changing. So it can work. It's just that, what do poor people want? Do we want to stay poor, or do we want to transition out of this dynamic?
I just wanted to. Can I go? Hey, everybody.
Hey.
What's up, Jesse?
How you doing?
So I just wanted to add that as a wife of 15 years, I'm a traditional wife. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I raise the kids. I do all the housework. Submission was never a conversation that my husband and I had. It never came up. It never came up.
That's my point.
I saw, but I'm kind of going to what the young lady said in the video. I could see his consistency, his dedication, his loyalty. I could see that he was going to be a great husband, a great man, a great father. So it was like, it just was never a conversation, because he showed me those things. No different than in the dating phase, when we were getting to know one another. I showed him my wife abilities, just like he showed me his husband abilities. So it just wasn't even a conversation ever. As a matter of fact, if you were to ask him, am I a submissive wife? We don't even use that word. He likes to use the word cooperative. We are a team. We work together. I do for you, you do for me. So I think a lot of times in this new, I don't know what the hell going on, but in this new age, like she kind of said, if you're demanding submission, if you have to ask or require it, then I think it's time for self-reflection on why you're not attaining that.
Agreed.
Because you're missing something. That doesn't mean you're a bad person per se, but there's just something that you're lacking that shows a woman like, I really like him, but I don't think I could put my full trust and my full everything into him.
I want to second what you're saying from my marriage. Yeah, submission for us in conversation is more of a joke than a requirement.
Type shit.
Like how I talked about picking the kid's school. And when I just don't want to decide certain things, and look, babe, give me, I submit to you. I trust your leadership. Lead on this one. Like, in good relationships, that's not even, from my experience, not even really a conversation. So I agree with what Sis just said. And again, for me as a man, and this is something I would share with a lot of my brothers who think they require submission. Me personally, I don't want a woman that necessarily has to submit to me. I want a woman that's going to make me better. And if you're just following and listening, you can't make me better. Sometimes I need to be checked. You can't do that if you're just submitting.
I get. I'm gonna say this though, as far as I'm gonna get with a celebrity or a powerful man, I put them as the same. You know, you might not consider a politician a celebrity, but I do. I'm saying that's all on the same level. When she gets with a powerful man, a man making that type of money with that type of power, because with money comes power, I think she automatically comes in understanding that she's gonna have to submit to this man and gonna have to be his second, his neck. He gonna be the head and you gonna be the neck. That's how that's gonna go. They automatically know that. Just like if I got with Oprah Winfrey, you know, I'm gonna be submitting to her. She's the one that's powerful right now. I would look like a fool trying to run her and me when she's the one that got everything together. So I think that's different. I think Michelle Obama absolutely submits to Barack. And he might submit in certain ways, but we don't see that shit.
I can tell you this, brother. If you believe that, you did not read Obama's book.
No, about reading his book, I said we don't see it.
No, I'm saying in his book, he was abundantly clear. Like he listens to her a lot.
His book. I'm talking about what we see as Americans. What we see is her submitting to him. We don't ever see him submitting to her. Like, okay, I'm gonna take the low road. We ain't never seen that. When we seen Michelle take a leadership position, it was when Barack wasn't in the picture. We didn't see Michelle taking a leadership role while Barack is right next to her. We never saw that.
I gotta disagree with that. Just going off his own words, I think she was very much a leader in his home and in his life.
That's not
which is what allowed him to become what he became.
No,
he always credits her with that.
I get what you're
but
saying.
is that more a leader or support? Help me.
I think they have a dynamic of balance in their relationship that allowed them to do something no black people have ever done. And I'm saying when I go back to Simple Sciences and I talk about environment, right? We're not in an environment where submission is honestly, for me, necessary to be able to build. It's like Sis said, cooperation. That's the key.
You're not in these positions. You're not in the positions we're talking about, president or a celebrity of any sort. Somebody that everybody knows their name right now. We all know these household names. We know these people. Their woman is going to submit to them. Period. That's what Michelle did. That's what I seen. I don't give a fuck what she do with her household. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about what I'm talking about what goes on in the public eye. We see her submitting to his authority. That's what we see. He is absolutely walking in a position of leadership in his household, not just in the country. He's absolutely walking in the position of the head of the fucking household. And that's all I'm saying.
Morphine, is it okay if I ask the men on here a question?
Go forward.
I want to know what man on here don't wish or don't thrive to have a whole house or a mansion or whatever, take care of their old lady and her not have to work and her could be a stay-at-home mom. Or she could work if she wants or do whatever. You'll help her build her business, whatever. But what man on here don't wish for that to happen?
Well,
that's not their dream. That's like not what we're born for. That ain't what we're bred for.
Can I say this though? Can I say this? I'm not a man. I can't answer that question. But what person on this panel don't want to work? Like really real shit.
Right.
If you couldn't work and you can make money, we all would sign up for that shit. Like all of us. It's not just a gender thing. Like well, men are supposed to not want their women to work. Nobody wants to go the fuck out here and work. But
I know, but I'm just saying. But after the men didn't say nothing, and I knew that was right. Now about the women. Now, what's y'all's going like? Is it the same as ours?
It should
be. Is it? Do y'all want to die for us? Do y'all want to build a life for us?
So
That's all I wanted to know.
personally speaking, as probably the only stay-at-home wife and mother on the call, this was something that we agreed upon before we even got married and before we had children. And we
Right.
said that when there would be small children, that I would stay home. That means at least up to 5 years old when they start attending school. When my first two sons started school.
So where's the 50-50 when it comes to eternity and one life?
The 50-50. The 50-50 came into
I'm saying, are y'all mutual agreement with the same thing for us? Y'all want to see us? Y'all want to live for us and die for us?
Baby, if
Let me
that's
answer that from a
in
man's
your
standpoint.
relationship, if you want that,
I'm just saying. I'm just asking the question. Y'all got good
Ask that
views.
question to men. Let me answer that
Well,
as a
here's
man, right?
Yeah, I mean, you
Hold
kind
on.
of cut me off.
Let's get some order. Let's get some order going on, people, please.
Yeah, because I really wasn't finished.
I'm sorry.
Real quick.
What I was going to say is that we made that a priority. We had that understanding. And the reason that, we all have our own reasons for doing things. We just think that that works better for our family. As far as what the 50-50 is, at the end of the day, I get to raise my children. My husband doesn't have to worry about the children. My husband doesn't have to worry about the house. The man goes to work. He comes home. When he come home, he don't have to lift a finger. He don't do no dishes. He don't cook no food. He might fold some towels because he ain't allowed to fold nothing else because he suck at it.
Do you know you're like 2%?
Hold on. And then, like, for example, I'm cut from a different cloth. When it's time to go outside and do the yard work, I'm out there on the riding lawnmower while he pushing the push mower. Okay. So it comes to teamwork. So a lot of times people need to get this 50-50 out their head and think 100-100.
Yeah.
We're both giving 100. We're just giving it in different ways.
Oh, 100%. Listen,
hold on,
I'm not knocking the 50-50. I'm saying I
Hold
will
on,
pay
Jerry.
all the bills. I
Let me
will take
bite
care
on
of
that question
everything.
you asked, right? As a man, let me bite on that question you asked. Me, I don't wish I had that. The reason I don't wish
Why not?
that I could just have my wife sit in the house and do nothing is because she doesn't want to do that. And she wouldn't feel like she would attain her total thing. Like, I'm trying to prep her for a run at politics.
I said
You know what I'm
that.
saying? Like,
I said
so
that.
people, what I'm saying. So people, what I'm saying. I wouldn't necessarily want that because I know she doesn't want that. And
Right, but I
it
said that
hasn't taken away from any of the things that I would require for my home to make me happy. She still cooks those meals. She still gets those kids, pick them up from Kumon, work on the homework with them, and still does what she does as well. Now,
100%.
she could on my salary, sit home and not do nothing. But our
Period.
trips wouldn't be as fly as they are, and we wouldn't have as many options in life if we didn't fully optimize who both of us are and what we bring to the relationship. So to
Right.
answer your question, no, I don't wish for my wife to sit home and do nothing. That would make her miserable, and she would drive me crazy.
I didn't say that. I said help her build a business, help her do whatever she wants to do. But if she wants to sit home, she can. I'm saying that ain't what we dream for. You just told me everything I just said. That's what we dream for, bro.
I don't dream for that.
But
I don't dream for that.
You just said it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I've reached that point. I've reached that point where I could offer that, right? The reason why I don't dream for that is because of the woman that I met.
That's all
And
I
I
want.
now dream for us to reach an optimal level where both of us are using our skills and being great. And with how great my wife is in her field, it would be it would be retarded for us not to fully capitalize on everything. So that means
You want her to be as
being
comfortable as she can, correct?
Both of us. Most
You
importantly, the kids.
both of okay, you already are, but I'm saying you want her to be as comfortable as she can, bro.
Well, let me
Right?
say something.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm gonna say
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what we live for. That's what we are born for. That's all I wish right now. I could marry a woman and make her as comfortable as she can be.
A dream and an expectation is two different things.
That
As
part.
long as I'm working for, whatever company I work for or whatever companies I work for, it's not about the company. As long as I'm employed and I'm filling out W-2s, I don't expect her to be able, right now to be able to just not do nothing and just live off of my income. I don't expect that. But if I got this record deal I'm pushing for, all that would be different. I would totally be with a submissive woman that's a housewife and cook, clean, and all this type of stuff because she wouldn't have to do nothing else. That's what I would be looking for then. Right now, I'm looking for somebody to help me with these goddamn bills. I mean, shit.
It just hurts that our creation is dedicated to a woman, and a woman's creation isn't dedicated to us.
The way I want it.
That's all I'm saying, bro. That's the whole moral.
To you,
anything
isn't dedicated
to men. To men, we're dedicated to women. I wouldn't even want to be here if it wasn't for a woman. I wouldn't want a nice car. I wouldn't work half as hard.
I've ever been with has been dedicated to me.
Frame that. I'm gonna say she would be doing what she wanted to do. If she wanted to go open up,
you found her, bro. Good job, bro. That's not everybody. That's not the majority of the world, or even 70%.
All right, well, let's go around the field.
It's the thing, though. Mugabe, you've been quiet, bro. Let's check your sound. Let's check. Oh, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead, Neo. Neo wasn't finished. My bad.
Mute me.
Yeah, that shit didn't just fuck me up. But yeah, I'm trying to say that what I expect and what I dream for is two different things. Yes, I would want her to be able to do whatever the fuck she want to do, help her open a business if she wants. She could be a humanitarian, but I wouldn't want her to be employed just, if I had the option. But right now I don't have that option. So I expect she gonna, I'm gonna have to be with someone that is employed, is bringing something to the table and this, that, and the other. But if I had the success that I'm really after, then no, she wouldn't be. She would be a house woman and starting her own business or something.
Because that's what we live for, bro. That's what we're born and programmed for.
I want to go around the table. Let's ask, are you done? Yeah, he done. He done turned off the mic.
Can I present a question real quick though?
No.
But before you present the question to change the narrative, before I want to go around the table because this is a good question that Mr. Gary put on the table. Moody, what's your response to that, brother? I kind of know, but fuck it.
No, I don't really. How's my audio? First, can you
audio
guys hear
is
me?
Perfect, brother.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Yeah, I don't really see the big difference in what any of you guys are saying. Everybody's saying pretty much the same thing, so it's not like it's the dynamic is the dynamic. It is what it is. So I don't really have anything to say outside of what's already been said on that note. It's men are programmed a certain way, women are programmed a certain way, and that's not going to change within our lifetime. It just is what it is. So the brother that said men are programmed or men are trained to take care of women, that's just the way it is. Women aren't programmed or women aren't trained to take care of us. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. A man.
Y'all got it hard on this dating scene.
Yeah, a man. No, I'm not saying it's hard on the dating scene. I'm just saying socially, us as people, it's hard to find a woman that's programmed to take care of a man in totality the way that men are programmed to take care of women in totality. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying it is. And I think that we keep trying to figure out ways to augment that, and we can't change that societally. If hypothetically, if like Brother Neo just said, if Brother Neo was to land that record deal and all of a sudden he's up and he found him a woman that he fell head over heels for, nobody would say anything to him if he started to fully take care of that woman. But now on the flip side of that, if a woman was to land that record deal and she
gonna go buy her a bag, she gonna go.
Right. What I'm saying, she's not programmed.
The love isn't mutual.
Her social circle is gonna talk to her, go talk down to her if they find out that she's fully taking care of a man. You know, they're not going to say, "Good job, girl. I see you in a leadership position. Way to take care of your family." Women are not going to say that for the most part. They're going to be like, she's going to get called all kind of names. She's going to be called dumb. She go say they going to say she's getting used. She's being manipulated. This just the society we live in. Is it a double standard? Absolutely. Is it going to change anytime soon? Absolutely not. And I land the plane with that.
I let me just jump in. I think it's already changed. Like, so when I hear brothers say we're trained to take care of women, the first thing I want to know from that brother who says that, anytime I hear that, is have you ever fully taken care of a woman in your life? And if you haven't, does that mean you failed? If you're saying this is what you were trained for, and you have never been in a position to accomplish that, then you're setting yourself up to be a failure as a man by your own standards. Now, I also say this, right? If you look at Jay-Z
I didn't
and
mean
Beyonce,
train,
right?
bro. I didn't mean it
Hold
to
on,
be
let me
like a
finish,
tactical
let me land.
word.
Oh, I'm still in the air. I'm
It's
gonna
in
land.
nature.
I got my parachute on, I'm gonna hop out. I ain't even gonna land the plane. I'm gonna let this shit crash. But people, right? Do you think that, because we all know Jay-Z could take care of Beyonce and all the kids 10 times over, right? Do you think he really wants that? Or did he choose his woman
No.
because she was building an empire of her own? Then when they put their empires together, we got 10 houses in Calabasas. See, we got to
Or
start
did
talking about choice, right?
or
So
did he get with Beyonce and help build her motherfucking career to who
I
she
think they
is?
both help.
Just
I
saying.
think they both help build each other. Even if you
I think
just
they both
simply
help
look
build
at
each
Really?
her
Jay-Z's been
first
out since
album,
1992. I don't know about that,
hold on.
buddy.
We're not
even
gonna go. We're not gonna do it.
You're not gonna move the
We're not
goalposts.
gonna
We're not gonna move the goalposts now. Let's
All
stay
right.
on
I'm
track. Let's
sorry.
stay on
I'm
track.
sorry.
no,
I'm gonna
I
keep it
respond to that. I respond to that.
No, no.
When they got together, his career was dying. The run was up, right?
But
Her
why is
album,
Jay-Z so smart?
hold
Why has he
on.
got so much
Her
money?
album,
What'd he
Dangerously
do?
in Love, with
Beyonce.
all those songs. And listen, I've been drinking, right? She helped keep him very relevant. They built a strong team
He
because of
wrote
what they
that.
both, brought to the table. You get what I'm saying?
But I
I'm,
And
think
so
I'm not saying that men and
can I
women are
say
not
this,
as
please?
powerful in their own entity. I'm not saying that, bro. I'm not saying that women can't be independent. I'm just saying that we have a vision to have a family and to die with the family, and we would be cool with just that. We don't need to be rich. We don't need to have flashy shit. We are simple people, bro, as men.
I think
That's
that's
all
you.
I'm saying.
You gotta say that's you.
Now this is the thing. The whole gist of it is like, to go back
All
to
right, bro.
Gary's
You're above
initial.
all.
Go back to. I'm trying to respond to what you said, bro. To go back to what you said initially,
I don't want an extraordinary woman. She don't gotta
I
look good.
I
She don't
don't,
gotta.
dude,
She gotta be good.
dude. So what it is I don't think any natural man, I should say, wants to be in a position to where his woman is taking care of him, unless he has something going on in his head to where he want to go to his wife and say, "Baby, can I have $5 to get a beer?" I don't think most men want that, unless, like I said, they got something going on in their head to where they got that going on. But like I mentioned earlier in the show, human beings are the only animals that I'm not saying I'm any type of scientist or nothing, but we are the only animals that I have observed that intentionally go against our nature. You know what I mean? Like we're the only ones that analyze our own instinct and try to either justify it to say why it should be this way, or justify why we shouldn't do it. And it's odd to me, because it's like, as a man, I'm not built to have a baby. I'm not built to breastfeed. You know what I mean? Our children are born very, very vulnerable. So, okay, you got this baby, stay here, and I'm gonna go out and do what I gotta do so I can come back and bring you food so you can make sure that our baby survives. That's our nature. That's instinct. but we go against that for whatever reason. We've created a society to where women don't necessarily need, my air quotes, women don't necessarily need men to be those providers because they get money and stuff of themselves. They doing it.
I'm gonna go a step past that. Just to answer what you're saying, I'm gonna tell you why. Because most of the men who talk about that can't provide that. That's the conversation where it gets real uncomfortable, right?
But
How many guys saying that this is what they want, what they shoot for, the natural tendencies, can actually provide that?
Well,
And so I think a lot of brothers, I think a lot of brothers don't understand.
Let me pause you right there. Let me pause you right there. It's a cultural thing because we all over the country. I'm in California. Some of y'all on the East Coast. Some of y'all in the South. Some of y'all up north. And everywhere you go, there's a Home Depot. And you'll go to that Home Depot and you'll see Juan out there making 50, 60 bucks a day. And his woman is understanding her role and letting him understand his role. So even though he might not be able to provide to the maximum potential of manhood, he's still providing for his family. And Martha is understanding that. Martha is saying, hey, I'm gonna make sure that Juan have a hot lunch so when he get to work and put in those hours, he's all right. So it's not necessarily predicated on money, it's predicated on culture. If your culture says that these are the cultural norms of the gender, you're going to move in that manner. If the culture says that it's not the cultural norms, you're going to move different. And what we see as African Americans and younger people here, those of you that are young, we're seeing that. We're saying, fuck that culture. We're trying to reinvent the wheel. And it's not really, it's going to be counterproductive in the long run. That's all we see.
Here's the deal.
He's married with a
While
good
he's
woman,
at
bro.
Home Depot, Margarita is folding towels at La Quinta.
Here's the unique dynamic of that. Being in America, and that's why I go back to far as being able to change the dynamic for you individually. All of us may aspire to be millionaires. However, how many of us are willing to put in the work that is required? That's the trick bag right there. You can. I hear a lot of black men, especially in the late 30s and 40s, talking about I'm gonna be this and I'm gonna be that. Then you're basically 20 years behind. So it'll take you another 20 years to really achieve that, unless you create something that is going to change the world. We're trying to reinvent the wheel. The earlier you start with this dynamic, the greater opportunity you have to achieve that goal. It does not change, fellas. Only things that's changed in the last 20 years is the players, not the game. The only added option going now, everybody says entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is versatile. It's a chameleon. Entrepreneur learns the different strategies of everything across the board, not just based off what they feel. You better go read that damn literature, because regardless, you still have to present that to those that can assist you or hurt you. You can't bypass that.
Hey,
So
I got
you understand those skills.
Shout out to Amir Simmons in the chat. Shout out to Mr. Simmons in the chat. I'm reading.
No, Miss Hills wanted to say, Jessica wanted to say something, and Neo wanted to say something at the same time.
Just real quick, I was just going to be the oddball. Yes, I understand that men want to, provide. That's what they see. And sometimes, if you're an average earner, you feel that, you may not necessarily be able to do that, and that's completely understandable, especially in today's economics. But my husband's a high school teacher, and we all know high school teachers don't make that much, right? We live a very comfortable life. So on the flip side, it's not just only up to men. It also has to be up to women who want to do that and be at home. And then they have to understand that, you can't go get your hair done every 2 weeks.
Now we're getting somewhere, sis.
Every 2 weeks. You can't
fly
go
that
on
plane, sis.
vacations and buy Gucci bags, And me, I'm a plain Jane. Like I don't wear makeup, I don't get my hair done and all that other stuff. You know, I know how to spend, I know how to live within its means. I don't want for anything and I don't need for anything, but even so, anything that I request is always within reason of
Fly that plane, sis.
of his earnings, you know. Um so a lot of times women too have to be more realistic. If you want somebody that's going to buy all of that stuff and do all those things, and you want to stay home and he's an average earner, that might not work out for you too well. And
I
men
like
too.
that.
If you
I
see
like
that
that.
woman is all about just all this other stuff, you know what? Yeah, she might be fly and you might want to smash it, but you might want to pass it up as far as a wife and a mother and establishing a future with
Man,
her, because you can't keep up with it. And
You
I
would
land my
think
100%.
that is, simple logic to most men,
Yeah.
but they like that fucking extravagant shit. And as a person that wears weave, I probably wouldn't be for you because it's expensive.
Yeah, go ahead, Neo.
Oh yeah, so I just really wanted to make 2 points, and they're really questions, and y'all can respond to them if y'all want to, if y'all feel the need to. First question, 2-part question, so wait for the second part. First question is, how many societies, because we established that in this society, it's the man provide for the woman. So how many societies in this whole entire world is there where the woman is the fucking breadwinner, is the fucking go-getter, is the one that provide for the man, and the man nurtures the kid? How
There
many?
ain't any.
Not many.
There ain't none.
So
I wouldn't say none, but not many.
wait, I ain't seen
There
that.
is none. There's none, bro.
Second part of the question is, so if this is the case and there is none, because I don't think there is none either. I might see a woman in a third world country providing for a husband that's crippled, but I ain't talking about that. I'm saying where the norm in that society is the women go to work and the man stay home. So that's what I'm talking about. The whole society like that. All the men sitting there taking care of the kids and complaining about the women coming home and just going to sleep and going back to work. I'm talking about that type of shit. How many societies is there like that? And the second part, if there is none, if you're gonna say there is none, you didn't say that it's nature and not programming from society, but actual the genetic makeup of a man to be this way and to behave this way. That's what I'm asking.
So you saying it's not toward behavior? Is that
it's natural?
Mr. Love, are you saying that's not toward behavior?
No, I'm asking their opinion. I don't think it's taught behavior. I think it's genetic.
And that's what I said earlier. I agree with Neo. I said earlier that we live in a current society around the world where, especially, I'm gonna say around the world, I mostly say in Western civilization, and people that are adopting Western civilization are actively trying to go against nature and instinct. We are purposely trying to reverse. We've given it a name, gender roles. You know what I mean? How is it a gender role for if you carry the baby and your breast produce milk that you should nurture the baby? How is that a role? Ain't that nature? Like
that's nature, bro.
No,
listen. I'm the one who said the training or the programming, but I swear to God, I meant nature, bro. It's in nature for us to feel like that about a woman, bro. It's in nature for us. We're born like that. That's what I meant. I didn't mean trained or programmed, because maybe it might feel like that, but it's not. It's nature, bro. It is. Y'all's right about that, bro.
So again, for me to go back to simple sciences and answer his question, I would kind of answer that question with a question, and I would say, what other point in society, in history, were women able to accomplish the things that our women now are able to accomplish? So if we have a completely different dynamic on what a woman can, a lot of dudes' favorite term, bring to the table, or what a woman can accomplish, is it not just simple logic that roles, ideas, thoughts are going to have to change with that?
Exactly. You're right. And women are up and coming still, bro. Because in other countries, they don't have the rights that we have, you know what I'm saying, in the United States. They're still up and coming, but They're nothing like it used to be.
But
Well,
we
I'm
talking about us. We
say
can't
this.
apply our lifestyles to Somalia. We can't apply our lifestyles to Venezuela or nothing like that. We
True.
live in probably the greatest nation
To answer your question
ever
from,
in history.
from,
So we got to talk about what's going to work for us.
let me
We're
answer
not dealing with women
somewhere
banging
else.
on wood, making tapas and taco shells. You get what I'm saying? So if we live in a dynamic now where women can accomplish more than ever before, and we can be the beneficiaries of that while still being great ourselves, doesn't it make sense to change the thought process and
No.
change the logic? And that's what I
No.
think a lot of my brothers aren't capable of doing.
And hold up, we might have more than them, bro, but they're at more peace than us.
Hold on,
Their
bro.
women are more happier. They cannot look as good, or they can make the tacos and whatever, but they're happy doing it, bro, and they're happy families and stuff.
Okay.
That's what I
I'm pretty
want.
peaceful.
Are they
I'm pretty
though?
happy.
So
Yeah,
how we know how happy they are? Are they?
I'm trying to.
Are you
because
saying they're
you
happier
watch
without?
so many people and so much stuff of them going over there. They're
Are
why
they
is Africa
happier
still
without
together then
education?
if that's not the case? Why is Africa so strong then
Are they
if that
happier
ain't the
without?
case?
Are they happier
Africa is
without
strong.
education? Are they happier without?
Africa's strong, bro.
By
How
what?
many
By
white
what
people
metric?
and Chinese and all of that live in Africa, bro? The
By
Africans
what
do as much as they
metric?
could possibly do, and they stand together as people, bro.
Let's slow down. Let's not bring in outsiders that come in to rape the land of resources and minerals. Let's focus on the African people. By what metric are you considering
No,
African people strong?
What do you mean? Why ain't they strong?
American
Ain't
people.
nobody took nothing from them.
Let's
Ain't
focus
nobody
on
taking nothing from them.
we
Oh
the
man,
poor.
bro. I gotta
Who's taking
send you
what?
some
What are we
links.
taking from them?
I gotta send you
What
some
did they
links and
not
some
bargain
books.
for? We don't buy from them. What did we took from
The
them?
Wagner
What did we took
group.
over? Why is Africa still
Wait a
Africa then?
minute. Look, wait a minute.
Don't do that, bro.
I just want to
Yeah,
make this
you
point.
wildin'.
I just want to make
Why
this
you
one
think
point.
just because you're black you know more?
I think just because I know more, I know more.
No,
It's not
you
even doing me being
don't.
black.
You
But I can
don't. You're
tell
not.
you,
Can we
hold
You ain't
on.
even
move from that
I
saying.
can
point?
You ain't
tell
even.
you right
Can we
now. I
move
can tell
from
you
that
what the
Yeah,
point?
Wagner group is.
let's move from
Wait
that point. Let's
a
move away now
minute.
because I don't want it to
Pause.
get out of control. I don't want it to come on,
Pause.
Ferg. Why you do that?
Y'all
Look,
Come on
crazy,
now.
bro.
Come on now,
Y'all
y'all.
don't make no sense, bro.
wait a
Nah, my
minute.
point is
Everybody
though.
pause. Everybody pause now. No, don't make a point. Wait a minute. Let's take a breather. Let's breathe in and breathe out. Cause I'm gonna forget everything the fuck I said because y'all got y'all little thing going on. So
What's wrong with your sound, Ferg?
what's wrong with your sound, Ferg? You about to
Y'all know I want to talk. Just tag me in.
All right, so I want to
You're
say
muted.
this.
I can't believe y'all.
Can y'all hear
I
me?
can't believe y'all, bro. I'm blown the fuck away by y'all.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, just turn it up a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can
I
turn
hear
it up.
you. I hear you more.
Y'all blow me away, bro.
This is
Hold
what I
on,
want to say.
Gary.
This is what I want to say. In these conversations, right? It's going to fuck around and come full circle where what Gary is saying is like, all right, listen, we as men are programming our innate, like our instinct is to live and die for a woman that is not programmed to live and die for us. Well, babe, that's called hypergamy. You know, we natural selection. We select the best dude, and if he ain't the fucking best, we gonna move on to the fucking next. You know,
No matter how good he treats you.
It's not about how good he treats you. It's about how she feels that he's treating her. It's not about how you think you're treating her. It's about how she feels it's treating her. Now I'm gonna
Right,
How many
but that
black women?
don't
How many
suck
black
though,
women
Morphine.
practice hypergamy?
Pause.
I want to get
Morphine, that
here.
don't suck for us
Hold
though.
on.
Let me
Let me
finish
ask you a
so I
question,
can get
Morphine.
to wait.
How many black women
Wait.
practice
Oh my
hypergamy?
God, pause for a second. Let me give y'all what y'all asking me for. Okay.
I'm listening.
On the flip side, for a woman, right? She'll be on some you'll figure like, yo, you're giving me, you're not giving me everything that I want in a woman. I want this, I want that. I was thinking this is my expectations that I wanted in a woman, and you're not giving me that shit. That doesn't mean that she's not a good person. She's not a good woman. You're leaving her because she's giving you everything you needed. No, in her mind, she might figure that shit. In her mind, and you might be doing. I mean, she might be doing everything she can, but in your mind, she not doing the fuck enough.
But don't that make us different? Because we don't think like that.
Now, hold on.
We'll
I
work
want
with you. We'll deal with shit for years.
I want to
Can I
get in
We'll
here
deal with
and
your
touch on what
kids,
Neo
with
was
your
talking
3
about.
kids, with your 6 marriages
Hold on.
before us. We'll
Hold
deal
on.
with all of that. Y'all won't
Hold
deal with
on.
nothing like that.
Saying that you
Hold
saying
on.
that
Hold
as if
on.
that's a good thing.
Right.
They will.
So I want to get in here
Yeah,
and
but
bring
it's
it
like,
back to what
where's the
Neo was
like?
talking about. I want to bring it. I want to wheel this in before we veer off too far. So going back on over to what Neo was saying about these societies, and off the top of my head, you know, a larger society around the world. No, I don't. I've never seen that. I don't think there has been one in history. But when you look at the advancements in our current society, where women were allowed to step into different roles, are those countries further along than countries that still have a super patriarchy to where women can't speak unless the man say
Nope.
something? So
Nope.
We got.
you know, if you so you gotta
We're way further along.
right. So is it necessarily bad to have
We are horrible right now.
a shift in power dynamics, like to where there's some equality? Because at the end of the day, there still has to be a leader. That's what I was saying. That was
Now we're
my
having a
initial.
logical
That was
conversation.
that was
I
my
agree.
initial. That was my
I
initial
agree.
point. Is that at the end of the day, somebody has to make the plan, and whoever makes the plan is the leader. So, like,
I want to
and let
point out.
go
I
ahead.
want to point out homie in the chat though. Homie in the chat, Hamir Simmons. Shout out to Hamir. Hamir's in there making some very good points. You get what I'm saying? But one of the things that
That's my homie.
one of the first rules that I have just for me personally as a man is you have to have attained the success that I want to attain for it to be worth it for me to listen to you. That's number one. And this is just men. Women are completely out of it, right? You can't tell me much about marriage and the things that I aspire for if you haven't achieved those things, right? That's number one. Now, two, when we go into that societal breakdown, yeah, most of the societies in the past were completely dominated by men. Now, when we look at the societies now that are completely dominated by men, a lot of them don't even have a Chick-fil-A, right? Like a lot of them have starving children, warfare, pestilence, and death.
Oh man.
So now I step back into my Black American shoes and look at the world, right? And look at the world I'm in and say, what is best for me? What is best for me is a woman that I can build with. I don't think women, even in our dynamic now, require to just be completely taken care of. I think most of them that say that are lying to us, lying to you, not even lying to themselves, because they don't even believe that. You get what I'm saying?
No, that's not
Look,
what it is.
can I say
hang
this,
on.
please? Can I say this, please?
Okay,
Please
go
let
ahead,
me
Go ahead,
let me
Wasabi.
let me
Boudoir.
speak.
Say it because I'm thinking
Let me
it's
speak, please. Please let me
please.
speak. There's a gigantic pushback from young women. There's a gigantic pushback from young women that are out here saying they want to be taken care of. There's a gigantic pushback of women saying that they're tired of going out there working 50, 60 hours a week to take care of a family.
Man,
There's a gigantic pushback of women. Now these aren't men, these are young Black women that are
I gotta
saying,
totally
oh,
disagree with that.
and I don't know what rock you've been living under, but there's a gigantic pushback of young Black women that are
I can
saying
tell you.
that what our aunties and our mothers taught us about this being strong and independent and not needing a man, that shit is that's a farce. That it is not conducive to making women strong. And to give you an example, Right now, we see the highest instances of mental health disorders with young women. Young women are having breakdowns because they have to participate in the same world that men been having to participate in for thousands of years. It's not natural for them. And to speak what the brother
It's
said
not.
about it, the brother said, well, where is the world where men are in total control? They're starving to death. Have you been to Dubai? Have you been to Saudi Arabia? Have you been to some of these other countries? It works, brother. And I'm not saying that women have to be
It
proverbially, and I'm using
works.
my air quote, barefoot and pregnant, but to put a woman in her more natural state. Her more natural state is to be
She's more peaceful.
that nurturer, is to be that person that takes care of the family, takes
I
care of
got you.
your ass when you ain't right. Now, and I'm gonna give
I
you
got you.
another example.
No, Neo.
Morphine said something about evolution and genetics. There's a specific reason why, no matter what culture you go into across the world, I don't care if you go to the Nilotic Africans, which are the tallest people in the world, or you go to the Twa people, which are the shortest people in the world. Wherever you go in the world, the men are always considerably larger than the women. Everywhere you go, America, South America, Africa, Asia, men are considerably larger than women. Why is that? It's a thing called sexual selection. Women, by nature, they choose men that they think can be providers and protectors in the sexual marketplace. That's the reason why a guy can be a hell of a dude. If he's 5 foot nothing, 5'1", the women laughing at him. A nigga can be a whole scumbag out here. If he's 6'5" or 6'6", he's fucking on 6 or 7 women at the same time, because women
True.
innately see this bigger, stronger man as a person that can provide and protect. Is it always true? No, but the psychology of a woman's hardware is saying that this man has what it takes to be a provider and protector. So there's
That
something natural about this shit. And I think that's why we see a lot of pushback from these young women. They're like, I'm tired of working 60 hours a week. I'm tired of having to do all this shit by myself. I want to be able to step into to my feminine energy a little bit more. And there's
Man,
nothing wrong with that, y'all. There's nothing wrong with that.
So I
And I'm
want
two
laying
to
the
quick
I
plane.
just
things.
want to say
Just two
I
quick
love
things
that
in
I don't
response.
work.
Just two quick things
I
in
want to
response, right?
respond to that, man. I've been trying to get in, bro. Like y'all been cutting me
Okay.
off every time.
Now you good. Go ahead,
Sorry.
King.
So what I'm trying to say is a couple people have said that in this current society, women working, we got far ahead and all this type of stuff. Now, I don't think that's a fair statement. First of all, I've been trying to say that for the past 20 minutes. I don't think that's a fair assessment because before 1960, women didn't have the right to vote and probably work in this country, and we were still light years ahead of these countries y'all talking about. It had nothing to do with women working that put America ahead of these countries, ahead of these third world countries. It's just the power dynamics in America. We was already a superpower. Russia was already a superpower. Germany was already a superpower before they gave women rights. I'm not saying it's a bad thing necessarily, but I am saying that wasn't the reason America was light years ahead of these other countries with no technology and no advancement. That wasn't the reason. It wasn't because women went to work or anything like that. And
okay.
and since I'm not finished, and since women started working, and it's been less that would take the other parent out the household, it has been less parental supervision in this country since then. We've watched a downtrend of the family, of the American family. The American family is probably one of the weakest family structures in the world as a result of this. Now, you might see that as a technological advancement is justifying, you know, the old ways wasn't right. But to me, the old ways were more right because we sacrificed our family structure and our children for technological advancement and making sure everybody in the household is working and contributing to this family instead of somebody being at home delegating to the children and stuff.
Right.
All right.
And
Jessica had her
can I
hand
can I
up.
say something, young?
Jessica had
Can
her
I
hand
can I
up.
say
Go ahead.
can I say something? Is it cool?
Yeah,
I-
real quick, and Miss Fields is right after you. Don't be long-winded, please.
All right. And like I said earlier about the growth of women is still going, man. The only reason that a woman hasn't had a presidency yet is because all these other countries don't have rights for women, and they would frown upon us, and they would think we were weak, and we would get charged for that, man. That's the only reason a woman ain't been a president yet. And it's not to say that it's not going to happen, because it is. It's going to happen. There's going to be a woman president, and there's going to be a male woman president. There's going to be a gay woman president. It's all going to happen. Eventually it's going to come to that, bro. And it shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? It's in the Bible. It's an innate, it shouldn't, but it is. It's all coming to that, bro. And I don't know what y'all think about this eclipse, but all kind of shit's about to happen. And remember I said that, because we ain't going to get too many more of these podcasts.
Go ahead, sis.
Well,
All right.
well,
All right, Jessica.
well, first, if you didn't know, Germany actually had a woman president for like a whole, like,
Angela Merkel is her name.
Yeah, Angela Merkel, for years and years and years. So there have been women in that high of a position, but that's not what I wanted to.
I'm not cutting you off, sis. I want you to take off. I just want to build on your point. She led a lot of other world leaders, male world leaders, for years. Her German position was extremely powerful. Go ahead.
Are y'all really representing the Germans right now? Are we
I'm
doing
half
that?
German.
Is that what we doing?
Miss
I'm
Fields
half
is German.
German.
She's German.
Man.
Miss Fields
And in the time of her presidency,
Go ahead. Let Miss Fields finish, though. Let her jump back in. I ain't mean to cut you off.
what was going
No,
on?
you
though?
good. You good. We don't even need to get into
Because she
all
made a
that.
very valid point. Go ahead, sis.
Anyways, what I wanted to go back to what Neo was saying, where we are sadly in this country, our families are one of the weakest families. So I just want to give you a really quick story that I actually posted on my timeline. My husband is a high school teacher. A few weeks back, he chaperoned a field trip to the zoo. So they go to the zoo, they get back. Well, right there was lunchtime. So Ethan says, "Hey, Dad, can you stay and have lunch with us?" So, of course, Billy being dad, he stayed and had lunch with him. And so, like, 10 kids were just surrounding my husband. And he was just like, okay, whatever. He's used to it. He's a teacher. So he said, we're sitting there joking and clowning. So the boys were talking about having a girlfriend. So they asked my husband, well, how many girlfriends do you have, Mr. Fields? And Mr. Fields said, of course, I got one girlfriend. So Ethan says, he's married to my mom, stupid. You know how kids talk. And the kids, the looks on their faces were saddening for my husband. Because you had kids there saying, you mean to tell me your mom and your dad live together in the house?
Yep, they do.
Man, dude, so hold on. And he can, the kids continue like, man, dude, you don't know how lucky you are, man. I hardly ever get to see my dad. Man, you don't know. And these are fifth graders I'm talking about. Man, we don't hardly ever get to see our dad. So
I want to follow up on your point. I want to follow up on your point, sis. No. So to the overall conversation, it's not the advancement of women that has destroyed the family in America. It is the destruction of values, morals, and priorities that has destroyed America.
But that comes with
marrying that woman that you've had a baby with is no longer the priority. It was a time when a man would put his whole life on hold because he has a baby coming, and that was the priority. That's died as well. So we can focus on women and do a lot of blaming, but there's blame to be held on both sides.
Nobody blame women. Nobody blame women. I was the first one to make the point, so I just want to correct it and clarify what I said, just in case it's misconstrued. Nobody's blaming women for this problem. I'm saying the American society has the American household with both parents busting their goddamn ass to the fucking
Right.
knuckles on their bone
Right.
every day. You spend more time at work than at home. There's nobody home to tend to the family, not even the man. You know, even if they let women working at the man stay home, somebody got to be home for them babies, and that's what I'm saying. We're in a society where it takes damn near a 2-parent household just to afford the fucking mortgage.
And ain't nothing wrong with that.
That's
And
true.
real
Something
quick,
is
You know,
wrong
there
with
is
So,
that.
something
so,
wrong with
so
that.
Absolutely
the point
something
of what
wrong
you're
with it.
saying.
Hold
So
on. Let
the
me say
point of
something.
what
Absolutely
you're
something
saying.
wrong with
You
that.
don't
Brother,
think
No.
is that a
Hold
problem?
on. I don't want to have to mute people. I don't want to have to mute
Pause for a
people.
second,
I
bro.
don't want to have to
There
mute
is
people.
something wrong with that. That means
Absolutely
there's some
something wrong.
that literally means there's something wrong with the economic system in America. It mean if it takes 2 adults to go out there and work 50 hours a week in order to maintain a family,
Yeah.
something is inherently wrong with the economic system. And to go back to further go into something Neo just mentioned. Do you guys realize that there was a time when daycare was not a business? And let me say this again. There was a time when daycare was not a business.
Right.
Back in the day, that shit did not exist the way we see it today. Fast food restaurants did not exist the way we see it today. Elderly care facilities did not exist the way it did today. Why?
And it
Because there
worked
was
better.
the reason why that's important is because prior, when the economic system was more equitable for people to go out there, like give you an example. My grandfather, literally, my biological grandfather made $12 an hour, $12. And for $12 an hour, and my grandmother worked a part-time job. For $12 an hour, he was able to buy 2 houses and support 5 children. Them days are over with. Them days are
Right.
over with, and we're
Absolutely.
seeing
Those days are not over with. They're not over with. They're not
those
over with.
days are over with,
He's
brother.
saying they're over with for the average man. Like the majority of men could have shared this type of story that his grandfather shared about
Right.
taking care of his family and buying these houses. They can't do that anymore.
But what he's
It's
speaking
rare
from,
to see a 1-income household buying a expensive ass house over $150,000 right now.
Right.
It's rare to see that.
Those days are
I
done.
got
Like
it.
the you got to
So
remember.
here's my question.
Can
Here's
can
my
I fin- can
question.
I fin-
I got
I'm
Do
it.
gonna
you
let you ask your
continue to
question in a second,
complain,
brother.
or do
I'm gonna
you
let you
adjust
ask.
to your environment?
I'm gonna let you ask your question in a second, good
Good.
brother. What I'm saying is, yeah, we're all gonna have to adjust. We're all gonna have to adjust and adapt. But we can't sit here and say that one system, the system of old, was necessary. We can't go back. Once the seal been busted,
Thank
the seal is busted.
Thank you.
So now we got to
Thank
learn how to move forward and still keep a semblance of
Agreed.
a regular family. We still have to have a regular family dynamic, but we also have to say that, hey, baby, guess what? You got to get off your ass and go to work too. I'm tired of working 60 hours a motherfucking week to take care of these bills. I'm tired of I'm literally working myself into stroke syndrome, heart disease,
Right.
high blood pressure because I got a lot of pressure on me. And yes, you have to deal with a woman that says, "Hey, I don't want my man to have to be under that kind of pressure." So, like Miss Fields said, yeah, a woman has to be comfortable in her femininity to say, "I'm not gonna put no undue economic pressure on my man. I'm not
Right.
gonna sit up here and talk about I want Gucci bags every time one is released. I'm
That
not gonna
part.
want the new weave
but
every
those are
time some
learned
celebrity
behaviors.
show it. So
Right.
it has to be give and take on both sides. So we can't look at my grandfather. If I look at my grandfather, I'm a failure. If I look at my
Absolutely.
grandfather, what he
And you know
accomplished.
something else though, Mugabe, that you're leaving
What's up,
out
bro?
is that back then, because like my mother's 77 years old, and my mother had to work back in the days until my father got to a position to where he couldn't. When you look at a lot, the society was built to where a lot of times the black men and black women always needed a 2 income, and they have it displayed in all like the true stories, like the true stories. They make all of these movies where you see the woman be a maid and the husband working in the mill or something like that. It's always so this whole notion of the woman working has never really been our culture thing. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Right.
It's never
Thank you, brother.
like and as far as if we want to talk about like when Neil hang on like when Neil was talking about the whole female-led society, like as a whole society, no, you don't see that. But when you just whittle it down to the ethnic level, we the ones with the big mamas, we the ones with the matriarchy society, we the ones that revere our women, we the ones that. So a lot of this gender war and all of this stuff that we have now, I personally just think it just comes from one generation failing the other to the point to where these younger generations are aspiring to be something outside of the culture.
But we're getting worse.
I don't think they understand basic economics. I think when you hear these young people talking all this shit about, oh, I need to be fully taken care of, or I'm not gonna do nothing for a woman from the man perspective, they're not understanding the economics of the times we live in. The economics of the time we live in is like we need each other. Period.
And so look,
I got a question.
So to go back to my point, about
go ahead.
Go back to my point about very simple sciences, right? Environment dictates a lot. So we can continuously look back and we can look at third world countries and how they're running things there. The reality is you can go live in Somalia right now and have 3 wives if you want. But you're going to sacrifice certain things that where we are right now, none of us are truly willing to sacrifice. So the question is, how do you win in the environment that you're in? And the reality is, the best way to win, when I look at very successful families and couples, when I look at Jack and Jill families, someone's going to understand what I'm saying. Jack and Jill families, right? Which I'm applying for, and I'll get back to that later. But it comes from optimizing what both partners can provide. And both partners can knock out 40 hours a week and balance out maintaining a strong family.
All right,
there were times when one parent.
Can you stop there? Can you stop there? Stop right there.
I wasn't finished.
So I want to ask Gary, as a Caucasian man, right, that sees shit not from a black and white standpoint.
Bullshit.
Let me
bullshit. You got me fucked up, Morphine.
And why you gonna ask
I'm the whitest black dude you'll ever have on your podcast, bro. Right, so grew up just like y'all, right next to y'all family.
For a white opinion.
You can't tell me shit. Your culture's mine, bro. I'm just white.
That's my point. You can't ask Gary for a white opinion.
You can't do that. I feel uncomfortable around my own people. You can't do that to me.
That's my point.
Regular white people don't fuck with me, bro. Y'all barely fuck with me.
I'm sorry, Gary.
Right, his baby mama on government.
I'm just saying, like, I could try.
I'm sorry, and he still.
I could give you a dim perspective. Go ahead. I could try to reach into my white side real quick.
You reach into your white side for a second.
I can try, bro. Go ahead.
But let me finish up though. The conversation was about power dynamics,
to answer my question, and I've been quiet on my own goddamn show, so y'all gotta give me.
You have though.
Like, goddamn. So, Karen,
I want to know what she's about to say.
I really he fucked up my
no, sure.
As a Caucasian man, Gary, from did you view yourself as grooming your family as a one income household? Is that something that you aspire to be, knowing that your ass grew up blackity than a motherfucker? So you probably
listen. My stepdad was black. He worked every day of my life. My mom was white, right? He worked 6 days. He became the supervisor. He made $12.75 an hour. He came home, gave my mom all his money to pay all the bills and shit, right? So listen, we always had our family and shit living with us and shit. And his family was my family growing up. So we had black and white mixed family. It might be my mom's white brother and his and his black brother. You know what I'm saying? Them were my uncles, period. You know what I'm saying? But like at the end of the day, that's what was going on. But my stepdad never hit my mother, never did anything bad to my mother, never even called her a bitch for 6 years of her life. And he was one of them black men. You know what I'm saying? He was raised by a good black family, brother, had mad respect. And my mom was the worst to him, and I hate her for that my whole life, because he was always good to me and showed me really good things. Worked on cars, taught me how to work on cars. I was always, when I went to jail and shit my whole life and ran away, he always came to my court dates when my mom was on drugs and cheating on him and fucking his brothers and doing horrible shit. You know what I'm saying? So I miss that dude with all my heart, man. And if I could bring him back before my mom, I would. You know what I'm saying? But like, so it's hard when you ask me them questions. There you go. There's a little bit of personal for me. You know what I'm saying?
But you
And that's
didn't
not the
answer that
answer she
question.
wanted.
You
She
never
wanted to
answered the
ask
question.
that
Did you
question to a
expect?
MAGA white, not
Did you
you.
expect?
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that for you, Morphine. I'm sorry. I told you what I know. You know, that's how I was brought up.
Question yet?
Did you ever?
I
Do
told
you
you can't answer
aspire
that.
to have a one income household?
I believe in that. I mean, I believe in it, you know, but like I said, nowadays I'm with the change in like everything that's going on. Like if she wants to build a business, I'm going to do everything I can to help her build and do whatever she wants to do. If she don't want to sit in the house by herself and take care of the kids, cool. What do you want to do, babe? You know what I'm saying? I believe in that. But at the end of the day, I believe I'm going to get with a woman. And if she makes more than me, I'm going to figure out how to make more than her so I can take care of her if I need to, because it's like in my nature. I just feel like I'm a bitch if I can't take care of my family. What type of man am I? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if some shit happened? Like, I'm supposed to be the man to step up, you know, and be able to take care of my family. And if I'm not, that's going to break me as a man because I strive so hard and I'm willing
Let
to
me
go
ask
that
you
hard.
this. Let me
I
ask
think
you
that's a
this.
great. I think that's a great question.
Can you
For,
taking less than your lady?
Making less than my lady? Oof.
Can you take
I just
care of your
told you
family?
I couldn't
Because
do that, bro. I
what
would
I'm
figure
trying
out
to
how to make more
establish,
as a man.
what I'm trying to
I can't do
establish
that.
is it strictly a monetary thing? Can you take care of your family making less than your woman?
Absolutely.
No, what man would want to feel that way?
Absolutely.
What man in this world would want to feel
Look,
that way
listen,
as a man?
hold on, Garrett. Hold
Real
on,
quick.
hold on. I get
Me.
what I understand where he's coming from. I
Oh,
understand where he's
yeah,
coming
man.
from.
I get it. I just want to say when I worked, I actually made more than Billy, but he still took care of his family. I just brought my check to the table and we did whatever.
And
It
to the
wasn't no
host,
big
let me
deal.
land the plane real quick. To the host, let me land the plane real quick. Like, I make less than my wife. We both do extremely well, right? So we can both build with each other. So there are still roles that I don't lack in any shape, form, or fashion. Why? Because we're blessed that financials will never be an issue for our marriage. That's a blessing. But even making less than her, there are still certain positions where I am the man in this house. I make a certain call. But like I said prior, when it comes to where my children are going to school and stuff like that, she does the research. Listen, Queen, I submit. Go ahead and pick the school, and I'm going to put on a tie, and we're going to go to the orientation.
Well, let me ask
So,
the panel this
my
of men.
man, hold on. Let me land it. I'm landing it. I'm bringing it in. I see the runway. Hold on.
Hang on,
I see the runway. Let me land the plane.
One at a time. I'm gonna start muting people and stuff. I don't want it to be rude.
I wasn't finished. Let me land the plane. I see the runway, right? So my point in saying that, right, to just tie it all up and button it all up, we have to look at the environment we're in. At some point, someone was talking about women want to be in their feminine like they want to sit home. What I'm trying to get my brothers to understand is that's not what they mean by being in their feminine. Because what they're way more proud of is their degrees and their disagrees and all their accomplishments, right? It doesn't mean when they say they want to be in their feminine, it doesn't mean they don't want to contribute.
All right.
So the bigger issue is finding balance. We kind of got completely off of the power dynamics, which I wanted to discuss. Go ahead.
All right. Well,
Go
let
ahead.
me get. Yeah. All right.
I'ma
So
just
let
hop
me
out.
go
I'm gonna
around.
pull a parachute. I'ma just let
We
it crack.
always
Go ahead.
striving to be better, Morphine. So if I get with a woman, I've been with a woman that's made more than me, and I'll stick with her and everything. But eventually, I'll figure out how to make more. You know what I'm
All right.
saying?
Well,
I'm gonna
let's
do
unpack
that.
that. Let's unpack that. Let's unpack this thing. Okay. It's not getting off of the subject. This is definitely on subject. Let's unpack this shit.
Yeah.
Why isn't that I got a statement before a question? Why isn't, and I made this statement before, I'm gonna make this shit again. Why is it that y'all men, and I mean y'all that it applied to, not those that it don't, why is it that y'all men think that money makes the man? I never understood that shit as a woman. Just never compute the
Because
me.
that's what
Maybe
women
because,
say, and that has been the
Now,
I'm not, no,
historical
that's not the
setup.
question. That's not the question. That's the statement.
Because
That
I'm
sounded like a
answering you.
question.
Because that has
That's a
been
good question.
hold on,
what every man
hold on,
probably besides me
hold
has
on,
said to you. Hold on,
hold
I'm
on.
answering it. What every
That's a
man
Can
good
besides
can
question.
she
me
finish what she
has
Man,
was
said to
saying
you is
though?
that
Oh
has been the
God,
I'm
historical
about to.
setup.
Hey, I'm about to
That's a
start.
good
mute
question,
the whole
Morphine.
panel and let her finish
You know,
speaking.
bro.
Right, that's what I'm about to do, man.
You know what?
Go ahead,
Okay,
Keisha.
you're triggered. So that was my statement. My statement is money don't make a man. But I want to unpack the logic behind this shit because I am a female. I can't tell y'all men or influence y'all men how to fuck the feel. That's not what I'm on. I ain't never been on that. If that's how you, if that's your intent, that's your fucking what I would say, your instinct, that's your instinct. I want to unpack that shit. So I want to go around the room. I ask, this is my question. Fellas, do you envision your household being a one income household? You know,
No.
now I heard Gary's, I heard fucking Wall Street. I'm gonna go down the track.
I'm actually retired as of 2022, 54 years old. I have my retirement income and I do have some other income, but my wife does work and her contribution is 100% towards the house, just like mine is 100% towards the house. So
Let me ask you, Ferg.
all incomes as adults should contribute to the upkeep of the home. That's just
Let me
my
ask you,
opinion.
Ferg, real quick,
Bro,
OG. Do you think she
let's
would?
go around the panel.
Let's go around the panel before people start asking questions and
Go
derails.
ahead, Ferg. I'm muting. I'm just gonna have to mute people. This is what it
No,
is. This is what they
No, you
want.
ain't gotta mute me. I'll chill.
no. You know, for my situation is uniquely different from most other people. But I will say this, and you can do your research on it because I don't do research for people. Since 2022, you need $10,000 more to have the same lifestyle than you needed before COVID.
Goddamn
So
right.
if you're not contributing to that capacity, then you're going to remain in a lower income bracket. And my last point, I put the numbers for women who spend over $1 trillion on personal products for themselves. Has nothing
1.7.
to do with the home, has nothing to do with the children going on vacation. So as a man, if you can get your woman to save at least half of her money on her personal products, and you can invest into the home for 10 to 15 years, it will pay you back quadruple when the time comes. Other than that, you'll continue to live from check to check and nobody will get the income or the resources that they desire based off chasing it. If you chase money, you'll forever be broke. I digress.
Now, can I ask the OG something real quick? As the big homie, let me ask you, being that you're married, and I have a high respect for that, right? Do you think that your lady would be comfortable in a position where she couldn't contribute?
No, because my wife talks about it all the time.
Thank
If I didn't have the job that I have, I would go work at Walmart just to make sure that we have everything we need. She's not above reproach.
But that's not what the host asked. The
Yeah,
host
I want to
asked.
stay on point. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get Miss Phil's, but Miss Phil's, I want the men to get their shit off. I'm gonna go down to Mugabe. Wise elder, please.
I'm gonna go last because I want to keep it on track. I want to make sure that everybody stay on track with the question that you asked, sis.
Okay, all right. So
I
I'm gonna
go
go
right
straight to
before him.
Neo.
Can you ask it again?
So do you view yourself and your future self, your 5-year, 10-year plan? Do you view yourself having a one income household?
Oh yeah, I saw the answer that earlier. It's a two-part answer. Well, it's two answers, not a two-part. Two answers is yes, I envision myself that way in 5 to 10 years because I'm gonna have that record deal. But if I don't have that record deal, no, I do not envision myself that way
I heard
Why
it.
not?
because the economy don't apply for it. Like I'm not the job I'm working right now. I can't afford a whole fucking family on just my income. But if I could, that's what I would be looking for. So
So
if
what
I
could you
had my
do to
record
make that
deal,
happen right now? You
Hold
can't
on,
go
hold
for
on.
what you want to
No,
do.
not no
Hell
elaborate,
no.
not no elaborate.
So much
Motherfucking
to
right,
what?
unpack here.
right. So what I'm
So
saying
much to
is,
unpack.
if I had that record deal and I was making 200,000 a year, and I can afford for my woman not to work. That's the ideal situation for me and my outlook on how I would want my family to be. And I would want a woman who's cool with not working, not one that's gonna feel like she's being pressured into not working. I would want a woman who's happy being that motherly role. But being that I'm not at that level financially, I'm looking for a woman who's willing to work and do everything like that. I'm looking for what y'all talking about. But if I had it my
Ask
way,
me
it
next.
would be the
Ask me next.
traditional way.
All right. So I'm gonna bring it. Welcome, Mr. Nasty.
Never let me
He
drop
left.
off. All right. I want to
He
drop
left.
my 2 cents in. So I have a completely different perspective, and it's just everybody looks at the world differently. When I first met my wife, she made more money than me, and we still had a one, and I was still working, but we still viewed it as a one income household. Now she don't work, and I'm working, and we still have a one income household. If my woman, when she finishes school, ain't no if, when she finishes school and goes back to work, we will still have a one income household because we putting the money into the same one pot. We got the same goal. We're going in the same direction. When you start saying this is mine and this is this and this, that's when you start having issues about what's going to doing with the money, who hiding money. That one video we was talking about hiding earlier today, we were talking about a woman was hiding money and all of that, and the secret escape account, like all of that's just it's ridiculous. If you and your partner are on exactly the same level, you 100% are going in the same direction, and you want to go in the same direction, you're on the same page, then it's only one pot. It's not two pots. It's not a two-pot household. It's a one-pot household. We are working for the betterment of our entire family. She want what's good for my children. Guess what? I want what's good for my children. So how is that separate? You know what I mean? That's just
I get what you're saying about that. It's together, but it's still two incomes going into that one pot. There's still not somebody at home for 40 hours a week. They're
He
at
said
work
she
for
don't work
40
no
hours.
more.
No. He said she go to school and then when she finishes,
she
she's
not.
going to be working.
Yeah,
That's
because she.
still I'm saying I get what you're saying. It's y'all together, man and woman become one, and it's one pot. I get that and I respect that and I agree with that. But I'm saying there's still a person, both people being away from home for at least 40 hours a week, time they could be home dealing with the kids, taking care of the household, some shit like that.
All
I
right.
want to
Ask me
reply to
next.
Neo.
Ask me next.
All right.
Ask
Can
me
I
next.
reply
Well,
to
it
Neo?
was Miss Fields' turn. She was waiting
But
after all
we
the
not
men.
no,
Go
bro. We
ahead,
supposed to be
sis.
going around the
Oh,
horn with
that's
the
right. You want to go
gentleman.
last. That's right. I forgot. You want to go last.
There's another
Miss
guy on the
Fields.
phone. I mean, on the call, ain't it?
No, he dropped off.
All right. Well, I'm gonna say this, and this is just, I'm kind of a statistics guy, and and the statistics don't lie. People do, and I'm literally looking at my computer screen about the 2024 income tax brackets. Now, to be in the 22% income tax bracket, a single person has to make between $47,000 and $100,000 a year. I don't think that that's enough to take care of a woman in a family. Now,
Hell no.
the 22% tax bracket for married filing jointly is 94,000 to 201,000. So that's a little bit better. That's a significant difference. Now, if you're able to get into the 24% tax bracket as a single filer, which is 100,500 to 191,000, you might be able to consider taking care of a woman. You might be able to consider having a single family, not on the low end of the 24% tax bracket, but closer to the higher end of the 24% tax bracket. No, on the low end, the low end ain't go cut it in some markets. In some markets, the low,
depending on where you live.
in some
markets,
and I'm saying in certain markets, the low end of the 24%, which is the highest tax. This is just taxes. This is what, according to what you make annually. That I don't think that's enough money to live off of one income. And even if it was enough money, and I'm just being completely transparent when I say this, I have extreme trust issues. I had a 10-year period in my life where I was fucking a whole lot of married women, a whole lot of stay-at-home moms. And I'm just being honest. I think, brothers, you don't want to be out there working your ass off, taking care of this woman, and she got all this fucking free time. Because, like, for you people that's into the book, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. And there's an old saying, there's only two things a man can give a woman: time or money. And if you giving her time, she gonna want money. And if you giving her money, guess what she gonna want? She's gonna want time. And guess what's gonna happen? That nigga that got the time, while you out there putting in that 60 hours a week, he gonna be drilling your girl. Because I was the nigga drilling niggas' wives. And I'm just being honest about that shit, bro. So don't we don't live in that world no more. These women have too many distractions that's giving them too much attention. They got all this social media. They can claim to love your dirty. They can claim to love your dirty draws, bro. They can claim to love your dirty draws, but once you go to work, somebody go be in there drilling her, bro.
That's why you gotta wait. That's why you gotta be very patient about who you bring into your life, bro.
It don't even, bro. It don't even.
Well, you gotta work on a laptop and be home.
If you ain't working remote, you don't know what that woman doing when you putting in 60 hours a week, bro. I had a 10-year run. I had a 10-year run of drilling married women, engaged women that was claiming to be separated. And all of them, I'm talking about, oh, hold on, this is my husband right here. Hey, baby, how you doing? Nothing, about to go get my nails done. Digging her back out at a cheap motel. And this man taking care of this woman fully. So I'm just telling you, y'all, we don't live in that Holly homemaker.
Pick your woman carefully.
It ain't about picking your woman carefully. You don't know what a woman.
Yes, it is, bro. Because that woman that's got that teacher as a baby daddy, she ain't fucking you,
Gary.
She's not fucking you, bro.
Man,
Come on, get the floor, Gary. Chill,
bro.
I'm gonna move it to
okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you like this, bro. And it's just the reason why I wanted to go last, because I wanted to elaborate on this. I don't think that in 2024, most of you men that want to have a stay-at-home woman where you beating your chest talking about you big dog, you really don't want to do that, because the
Okay.
odds of you finding one that's going to be consistently loyal. Gotta remember, I'm gonna say this again. Every woman want one of two things. She either gonna want time or money. The nigga that's giving her time ain't gonna be able to give her money, and the nigga that's giving her money ain't gonna be able to give her time. So guess what's gonna happen? That nigga that's sitting around playing PlayStation all day, that's good morning queen in the shit out of her in her DMs, she go give in, bro. And I'm just telling you, I'm saying, put her ass to work, make her go out there and get some bread, make her go out there. I don't give a fuck if it's 20 hours a week. Send her ass to work, make her go out there and be an active participant in the financial success of her family. Do not sit
Wait,
up there and try to take care of a chick, bro.
so you
And I
trying
land
to
the
tell
plane.
me? So you trying to tell me my good morning queens ain't for nothing? You telling me I should
Hold
keep
up,
it up?
hold up,
Keep
but
it up. They
Kenny
working.
ain't
They
going
working.
yet,
Okay.
because one thing you missing, bro, is the work husband. So there's a whole nother dynamic you not even seeing. But here's my
Thank
thing.
you.
I haven't given up confidence in our women like that. So
Shit.
Gary kind of has a point. You do really have to discern who you're choosing. I think most quality women want a balance of both. They don't want to be broke, but they also want that time. So with this conversation, right, about the bread and everything else, to Morphine's original question, and now I got the floor, I can answer. Hell no. I can't go. I can't take my kids to London like I've taken them. I can't take my kids to Ghana like I've taken them. I can't take my kids to Mexico like I just took them 2 weeks ago without a two-income household. And there's
But you
nothing wrong
could if
with
you
that.
made
And
more
because,
money.
hold on, I'm
It's
not finished.
crazy y'all
And
believe that, bro, and
because,
not believe in
and
yourselves.
because,
Because I can't.
because, let me finish.
It's
Because
not
of
true,
what we
Phil.
build together, we're able to balance maintaining a strong family and a strong household. So, my main issue, number one, is if you're not in a place where you can provide a woman with that, this should not even be your conversation. That's number one I want to establish. If you not at 100 grand minimum, just going off his tax numbers, which I kind of agree with, if you ain't at 100 racks, you don't even need to be having this conversation. This conversation ain't for you, right?
Real shit.
That's number
So
one.
all y'all at
That's
100 racks?
I'm
hold on.
about 80.
I mean,
I'm about 80.
but look,
I'm just
right?
saying.
That's number one. That's
The
number one.
same.
If you can't
I'm about to be.
provide that, you shouldn't even be having that conversation. What I can share from my experience and my life is, yes, you get the right woman that you can build with, that's on the same time as you, even if she makes more than you. If you are a solid man and you're bringing the requirements to the table, your manhood will not be in question. The submission will come into play when need be. But in a environment of equality, both sides are gonna have to be somewhat submissive. And there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. You get what I'm saying? I get what he's saying, smashing niggas' wives and all that. Like, I was the work boyfriend for a lot of chicks when I was young and wild,
That's it.
right?
We all
I hope my
was,
wife
bro.
not listening. I hope my
That's where
wife
I
not listening.
started.
Listen. But listen to what I'm saying, right? Like, I get that. But I'm saying that's not even the conversation I'm trying to have, because we want to win. So if you with a raggedy broad, she's gonna pop off regardless. If you're with a quality woman, even on a high school teacher's salary, talk to me, sis. I know you back there and you hear me,
I'm here.
right? All
I'm
right
waiting for
then.
my
All right.
time.
If you're dealing with a quality woman, even on a high school teacher's salary,
She gonna love
you
you
can make
regardless.
it work. So this is when it comes to the conversation of power dynamics, what a lot of my brothers need to understand is we are in a golden position, especially if you're outpacing other men in your demographic. You're set up to win. You just have to utilize it properly, and you have to not be hung up on your own insecurities. Again, my wife makes a great salary, I make a great salary, and we're able, our kids' passports is tatted up. Shout out to my man. Shout out to my man Fabo. You know what I mean? Our kids' passports is tatted up. One of the biggest problems about the social media environment, and again, my conversation always comes to environment. When we look at those two videos we looked at, the first question you got to ask yourself is this someone you want to be? Is this woman the wife you want to be? Is that man the husband you want to be? Then you have to ask yourself, are these things even your goals?
Morphine, I gotta go. I love you, man. I'm sorry to be disrespectful, y'all. I love y'all, man. I respect this podcast so much, bro.
Y'all niggas always, y'all always do that to me, man.
I've been here for an hour and a half, bro. Come on, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I ain't mean to cut you off. No, I fuck with you.
I ain't mad at you.
All right, so.
Hey, yo, Ferg, next time you have a show, you better add me, bro. I'll be in the background like, yo, Ferg, add me.
Can you let Miss Fields go? Can we let me? Because she been waiting patiently.
I've been waiting patiently. Okay, so I got an answer for like 4 of y'all. First of all, on behalf of the stay-at-home moms and wives that do not cheat on their husbands, I am sorry that y'all had to hear this, because I know a lot of us is just holding down the home and loving our husbands and raising our children, okay? Not all stay-at-home moms and wives are out here getting drilled by the plumber, okay? All right, I had to knock that one out first.
Remind them, sis. I know you exist, Queen. I know you exist, Queen.
Then I wanted to respond to something that Trey said earlier. That's how long I've been patient, because I had to jot notes down because I didn't want to forget.
Right.
A lot of times, a lot of people ask me, how do y'all do it? Your husband is a high school teacher. You have 3 children. You live in a beautiful home. Like, you know, just give me bragging rights for a minute, but my home is $500,000. We got cars. We got, you know, I never opened the refrigerator or the pantry and it's empty. Never had a light bill not paid, nothing. Go on vacation and everything. But the thing to it, again, it's about budgeting. It's about spending wisely. And, you know, again, like Trey said, you know, one of the women are the biggest spenders. I could tell you this because I was a retail store manager for over 2 decades. And guess who I targeted the most? Women.
You ain't got to tell us.
Women are spenders. So if we just, like, there's sometimes I want something and then I'll be like, okay, do I want it or do I need it? Okay, so I don't need it right now. No, all right. So you know what? I'll wait. And a lot of women don't have that discipline. So I wanted to say that about Trey. And then there was another thing that Neo said that I really wanted to touch on before the call ended, is where Neo was talking about that when you have 2 parents in the household and they're both working themselves to death, and that leaves that kid at home by themselves or at a daycare with some stranger raising them or running the streets and things like that. And that was one of the biggest reasons that I decided that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom when my children were young. There is nothing that blesses me more. Each and every day, I wake up every morning, have my coffee. I see my sons off to school. I see my husband off to work. They get off the bus. I'm home to see them get here. I can ask them how their day went, feed them, have dinner ready when my husband come home from a long day at work. I get to spend time with my 3-year-old beautiful daughter each and every day and see her grow. I don't miss nothing. I don't miss the first steps, the words, the jokes, the giggles, the boo-boos, or nothing. And I wanted to say that because a lot of times, sometimes, and I used to be in a lot of stay-at-home mom groups, a lot of times it's not even that they can't financially do it. A lot of women don't even yearn to do that anymore.
Yep.
A lot of women,
That part.
it's too much for them. It's like, oh my God, you mean you're home with your children all day? That's what you do? What about you? What do you do? And I'm like, that's what I do. That's my priority. Those when I married my husband and I had my children, they became my priority, not somebody that I clock in and out for. Now, having said that, this year Monica will be going to school. She's going to be 4, and I'm going to go back into my photography business. I'm going to do something because I don't want to sit in the house all day, but
That's
I
right.
will never go back to a job that's going to restrict me from being able to cater to my family. My family comes first and foremost.
Yep.
I land my plane. I had to remember all that. Look, y'all lucky I remembered it all because I was holding it.
Appreciate it.
You got a good memory.
Back up really quick. Can y'all hear me? I just want to speak on this chart really quick in reference to the, income and things like that. Because it had single and it had filing jointly. If you're married, don't file joint, file separate. Now, as far as let's look at the tax bracket. The same as the tax bracket, that's how much you should be saving if you're making this much money. You should be saving the same amount flipped over as far as what you taxed of. You should be able to save the same amount in your bank account, in your pocket, in your hiding space, cash money, converting it to gold or silver, stuff like that. But how many of us have the discipline, especially if you now the 11, let's say the 12% to the 10%, we'll just say that's the income because the numbers haven't changed. The income, if you just have a high school diploma. Now, some people may get lucky if they create something dynamic. You can probably do it. But you still have to, without a high school, with just a high school diploma, you'll make about $63,000 in tops. With a college degree, anywhere between, and the higher your degree, such as bachelor's, master's, associate, master's is higher. Then you got the doctorate. The doctorate, especially, go to about, depends, it could go to, because doctors make about $243,000. That's the 32%.
Damn.
But you can still save that on that if you do it right. If you grow up, if you have a family, you can do it because you can plan the vacations, plan to travel. Everybody get the shoes. It's really simple, man. And you can use. And I can say it's my last thing because I don't want. If you want to know, just go look at the research. Now these are. You see the single, you see married, filing jointly. Head of household meaning it's you, your wife, she may not work, have no income. You got your kids, that's head of household, or it just may be you, a single person, you head of household. Now here's the thing though. Here's the tricky part. If you married, don't ever file jointly with your wife because they double tax you. They'll tax one person at like 12%, but the other person be like 35%. You lose money. File married, do it separate. Yeah, that's it. I'm telling you, you can look it up. You got to do it.
Depending
I wanna-
on your income.
I'm telling you, you want to save money, 20%. You got to do that. It's legal. You can do that. Go look it up.
You saying that all incomes is gonna come out better that way?
It depends on your. It depends on your income for sure. Because if you
But
make,
even so, say you make $10,000 a year, you still get that little income tax of
Yeah.
$500-600. You get it back. She can get her money. Everybody gets everybody, especially if you married and got children, all the money's coming back to the house all the time.
And I was just gonna add real quick because I know I gotta go before my husband divorced me.
I gotta go for my job, fire me.
Right before my job.
I'm
fired
in
me.
trouble too, sis. I'm in trouble too, sis. Go ahead.
Is this
One
your
of the
number anyway?
one of the biggest things that we made sure that we focused on, before we had kids and then going further is alleviating debt. So debt to ratio is a big thing. And a lot of times we have so much debt that our checks are being consumed by that debt. So like, for example, recently, Billy paid off his student. One got forgiven, one got paid off. That opened up like $500. The truck was paid off. That opened another $500. This got paid off. So every time, just for example, when we get a lump sum, let's say tax time, we don't go out and buy stupid stuff like flat screen TVs. We look and say, okay, what can we pay off? What's the smallest bill, you know, or what can we afford to pay off and still put some of that tax money into our savings? And then we've alleviated another debt, whether it's $70, whether it's $500. And a lot of times that adds up. Like, so in the span of 3 months, he opened up $1,200 that was going out of the house that's now back in the house. So now we're able to save that money.
And to that point, this part of the conversation is the building blocks. This is what's missed when we have all these weird questions out in the weeds about what patriarchal societies were doing 100 years ago. That's not going to help you in the environment you're in. Everything that Sis just shared, these are the real things that couples now in this environment that we live in need to be focused on. That's what gets missed. And so when you start having a conversation about all the weird shit, it's not, you can't really build off that. So salute to you, sis.
I can't take credit. I have to give credit to my husband. He's a business marketing teacher. He's an economics teacher. That's what his degree is in. So he's the money man.
Being a super wife. Look at you being a super queen. Look at you.
He's the Superman in this. So I just go with what he says because I trust him to guide us in the right direction.
I would like to end this show.
Let's get ready to wrap it up because it's been 3 hours, and everybody, I appreciate everybody for coming on. This has been a very interesting and spirited show, to say the least. You know what I mean? And go ahead, Morphine.
All right. Same here. I want to thank everybody that came to the panel. Those who my mic is kind of weird. Those who came up to the panel, those who gave us love by watching us and the support of coming every Monday to come and watch. Thank you guys.
Shout out to Amir Simmons.
What is our next Monday show about? Because we always do that.
Let me pull up the notes.
I love it. You guys are so great.
Facts over feelings is next week. It's gonna be a satire show. We're gonna just have everybody come up and talk about what they believe is, you know, what it is, and we're gonna pull it up online, pull it up on AI or something, and we're gonna check facts over feelings. All of that stuff out here, people saying, oh, black women is outpacing black men. We're gonna look it up. We're gonna look at the facts over the feelings. But they saying this person is doing better than that person. We look excuse me. Such and such is buying houses more than anybody else. We're gonna look it up. We're gonna fact check over feelings. That's the next show.
Oh, they're gonna be hurt. They're gonna be hurt next week.
Oh yeah, next week we checking all egos at the door. Like if you thought you was right, you might be wrong. If you thought you was on the right foot, you on the left. Like we gonna go. It's about facts. Next
right. And I'm waiting to see how many. I want to see how many excuses they're gonna have. Like, well, that's just that computer. That's just that. That ain't.
Yeah, if you really want to know how black folks is doing out here, go talk to a local tax professional and say, hey, tax professional.
Oh damn!
How is it?
You want to send them to tax professionals and the bankers and shit? No, you cheating now.
You know what I'm saying? Like
you getting in these niggas' wallets.
Right. If you want to know what people really doing out here, say, hey, tax professional, what is people really doing out here? Hey, CPA, what is people? Because it's a whole lot of cap in our community. It's a whole
what's interesting about that, Mugabe. My best friend is actually a tax preparer. I can see if you want to come up here and talk about some
Talk general. Don't mention no name.
Well, he know the law. He know the law for sure. Like
and I guarantee you, people go have a different perspective. Like there's a whole lot of cap in our community, bro. Like there's a whole lot of people not being honest with where they really are. When you look at them tax brackets, that shit don't lie, man.
Yeah.
Like
what he's done though, that kind of changed my perspective. He lets me know that strippers actually make really, really good money.
Hey, y'all speaking too heavy on the
How
beat.
long?
Look.
That's a
I
whole
want to
different.
end my
For
show. I
how
want to end
long?
the
Yeah.
goddamn show.
All right.
Bye,
Yeah, we
y'all.
gotta leave them on a cliffhanger. Hit
Yeah,
cliffhanger.
thank y'all
And
guys
do
for
they know
y'all
what it's
speaking
gonna
to
take to
me.
retire? We get in that stripper con.